Macrotech developers, or the more well-known Lodha developers, clocked a stunning 57% growth in their second quarter revenues through pre-sales. The group has some 10 projects coming up, mostly in Mumbai, but a few in Pune and one in Bangalore as well. How strong is this real estate demand momentum? Can the higher interest rates dull this demand? And what about the impact of input inflation? For all, a 360-degree health check of the real estate sector, I have with me Abhishek Lodha, Managing Director, CEO, Macrotech Developers. Abhishek, good morning and thank you very much indeed for joining us. These are very heartening numbers, not just for Lodha Macrotech shareholders, but generally for the economy. What is your sense in terms of the cycle we are in? Does it look like a long runway of demand?
Good morning, Lodha. Great to be with you this morning. We do feel that the housing cycle in India is at the start of a long-term upcycle. Housing base in India, the formal sector, is quite modest compared to the size of the population and the size of the economy. There was oversupply in the period from 2015 to 2020 due to various reasons, but that's been significantly cleaned up, and we now have a very disciplined and consolidated supply side, with only the highest quality developers enjoying the confidence of the consumer. With this, we're starting to see steady price growth. And as long as price growth remains reasonable, that is at or below wage growth, we're going to see a long-term upcycle in housing in India. This is in turn, of course, going to lead to wealth creation for the buyers of housing or the owners of housing, and also significant employment creation, both at the construction side as well as in the supply chain, because so many industries are dependent on housing for their end demand. So overall, we believe that housing is at the start of an upcycle, and it will be a significant positive contributor to India's economic growth for several years now.
Yes, real estate cycles do normally run for a long time, and we also had a long night with respect to the sector having a lot of loan problems, debt problems as well, half-finished houses. I take your point that there must be pent-up demand, but is it in all segments? I'm asking you because I guess your Dombivli properties are below 1 crore. You also service the 2 to 5 crore. You service the above 5 crore, I guess, in the southern areas of Mumbai. How is the demand in all these buckets?
Lodha serves the entire spectrum of the housing market. We do everything from, starting home start at 30 lakhs or 3 million rupees, and we go, of course, much, much higher across different price points. And that gives us a good insight into how the consumer is feeling and where the demand is. What we're seeing right now is that demand is pretty strong across the different segments of the housing market, all the way from affordable to mid-income to premium and even above that. And that's really a reflection, as I said, of the fundamental fact that the housing market in India has a lot of room to grow. And as prices are moving up modestly, people are making their buying decision. Generally, the desire of families to move into a better house, a bigger house, has increased in the aftermath of COVID, and now combined with the fact that people are continuing to see some level of work from home or study from home. And I don't see this as pent-up demand. We are now 2 years after the reopening from COVID. So this is no longer pent-up demand. This is just a sustainable long-term growth in housing, which India should see. India did about 300,000 units in the top 7 cities in 2021. And our estimate is that by the end of the decade, we'll be at 1 million units, 10 lakh units. So that's 3x growth in 8-9 years. So we have a lot of growth ahead of us in India from a housing perspective. The thing that developers have to do is to keep price growth moderate, not get excited too much and increase prices. As long as price growth is moderate, this market is going to grow substantially.
Okay. You're almost giving me the next question. What kind of price hikes are you planning? I'm looking at you as an indicator of the market.
Lodha, we believe that price growth should be 1% or 2% below wage growth so that affordability keeps growing. Wage growth in the country this year will be somewhere between 8 to 10%, and therefore we expect price growth we plan for price growth to be in the 6 to 7% range, which means that buyers enjoy good price growth, but at the same time affordability keeps getting better as wages are growing faster than prices.
Okay, let me get some bit on Lodha, the company itself. You all have done about 6,000 crores in the first half with pre-sales, and you gave us a guidance of 11,500. Usually first half is, I think, what, 40% of total? So you are going to increase your guidance by how much?
Lata, I think the market is right now looking good. The festive season had just started off, as you know, in early October, and we continue to see strength of demand. Obviously, we continue to watch the global factors carefully. One gets concerned when the rest of the globe is not doing necessarily very well. We feel quite confident about our current level of guidance, but we will wait till the end of this quarter before we make any change to our guidance.
Okay. What's the impact of interest rate hikes? We saw a number as low as 6.5% for a brief period in 21. Now it will very rapidly go towards 8% if it hasn't already. Does it dull demand?
For mortgages or home loans have risen. We are now, somewhere around 8.25% to 8.5%. Having said that, the fact is that in India, mortgages are a great performing product for lenders. Therefore, the level of competition is quite high, and mortgage pricing continues to remain, I would say, quite competitive. The wage growth in India means that after 2 years, the wages are 22% higher, and the EMI or the monthly installment is the same. And that makes it very easy for a home buyer to pay off his loan expeditiously, which means that mortgages in India are typically paid off in 7-8 years rather than the stated tenure of 20 to 25 years. So there is some, there could have been an impact of rising interest rates, but I think the resilience of the buyer demand, plus leading companies like us coming out and saying that we will protect home buyers on the interest rate for a couple of years, means that the buyer sentiment has continued to remain positive. The cost to us of protecting the consumer from this increase in interest rates is very modest, as low as 1% of the capital value of the unit. And when prices are going up 6-7%, that's really just an insurance cost to us. So generally, we feel that up to 9% mortgage rates, sentiment is going to continue to remain positive. We don't see any impact of demand. Once it crosses 9%, there could be some impact on sentiment and therefore on demand. But we still generally believe that the housing cycle is a strong positive one. You could have some impact of very significant growth in interest rates from current levels. But I'm hopeful that the government and the RBI are supportive of the economy and recognize the significant positive multiplier effect of housing, and therefore ensure that mortgage rates remain reasonable, given the fact that the Indian inflation is not as bad as it is in the West.
Oh, yes, I mean, it doesn't look like they are planning for anything very ferocious at this point. The highest I've heard in terms of repo rate is 6.5%. So that would be, about 60 basis points more than where we are now. It doesn't look more than 9%, but who knows? I'm from the 90s, where my first house was a 14% home loan rate and fixed, So we've seen terrible times, and I guess 9 will be possible. You added, I think, about 9,300 crore worth of projects in the first half, our analyst tells us. What are you planning in terms of, are there any new projects that you are planning? We know about the existing half a dozen in Bombay.
Lodha, we keep adding new projects. We've added in the first half of the year, like you said, a little over 9,000 crores of new sales value. And for a full year, our guidance is at 15,000 crores, which we feel of new additions, which we feel quite comfortable with. We are adding projects in Mumbai across different locations and micro markets where earlier we were not present in. We are adding projects in Pune. Both these markets, we find the supply-demand dynamic to be quite good. Our brand is very well recognized, valued, and seen as the best provider of housing, and therefore we're seeing good traction when we're doing new launches. We continue to see strong sales across different periods of the construction cycle, under construction, ready. So we are continuing to add supply. This is our capital light model, where we are largely doing joint development agreements, making sure that our capital is well utilized and our ROEs keep moving upwards. Generally, as a company, we are aiming to consistently deliver 20% or higher top line growth and move our ROEs towards 20% over the next couple of years. And that really 2020, all Indians need to have a cricket analogy. So that 2020 is what we are working towards. And we find that the current environment, both on the demand side as well as on the land supply side, are quite conducive to us moving towards that kind of productivity of our capital.
Okay, that's a bunch of numbers you've already given me, and I'm being warned I'm overshooting time. Just one quick word. Your debt is consistently going down. Now that you're expecting such good sales, will you allow it to rise?
Not at all. Our approach to debt is one from a great amount of learning. We are very conservative when it comes to debt. We want our debt to be below 0.5 debt equity, as well as below 1 times 1 year of operating cash flow, and we should get there quite soon. And we want to be very conservative when it comes to debt, because housing is a beautiful business. The IRRs or ROEs are quite good. The only risk is having high debt, and we don't want to take that risk.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It was a very heartening conversation. Your hope that things look like your start at the cusp of a long, healthy trend for the real estate sector. All the very best for the rest of the year. Thank you very much for joining us, Abhishek.
Thank you.
We'll wrap up on Bazaar. Chartbusters up next.